Are you unhappy with your financial advisor? Would you like to break up with them? I'll show you how. So I work with people all over the country as an investment advisor. And one of the questions that I get, not every single week, but it's fairly common, would be people have a relationship with an existing financial advisor. Sometimes it's a long-term relationship. Sometimes it's a short-term relationship. Sometimes it's your friend from years ago who got into the financial services industry. Sometimes it's even a relative. And it can be uncomfortable for people when they have this realization that their finances aren't just, maybe they're not going in the direction that they really want them to go in, or they don't really feel like they've got the communication that they need. They just don't feel good about it. Maybe they just don't feel like they've got active management. Somebody's just telling them to hang in there. And they're looking to make a change. But the change, and we all know this in life, it can be a struggle for some people. For some people, it's really, really easy, right? They'll just never talk to that person again. For other people, they can't wait to pick up the phone and just say, hey, you're fired. I'm going to go work with somebody else. But for a lot of people, there's this apprehension in that sort of breakup phase, and you're trying to figure out, well, what do I do? Like, do I just leave? Do I send them a message? Do I do a phone call? How do I make this work? And then a lot of times beyond just the feelings of it, just the emotion of breaking up with this relationship that you've had, is what are the mechanics of it? So we've dealt with this for years and years now. And the way that I always sort of approach this is, well, listen, if you would like to work with us, or if you would like to move to another firm, if you feel the need to contact, because of the relationship, your previous advisor, there's different ways that you could go about doing that. One, certainly, if you're more direct, just make the phone call. Just call them up and say, hey, listen, I've decided to make a change. These are the reasons I decided to make the change. And this is what I'm going to do. And many times those reasons will resonate with the advisor that you were working with. So maybe it was an advisor that didn't specialize in individuals that were retired or close to it, right? Maybe they were more growth oriented and hang in there oriented on portfolios. And maybe you've gotten to a stage where you're more preservation and growth oriented, right? More income oriented. So that could be a reason. Another reason could be maybe just performance hasn't been good. And they're saying, well, performance hasn't been good because the market hasn't been good. But maybe you took a look at some other options that were available to you, and the performance is better than what you're getting. So the first one would be sort of performance-based, or how they manage money. And then whether or not you want to place that phone call or don't place the phone call. So here's the thing. You don't have to call them. What people need to realize is that when you decide to work with another financial advisor, your current financial advisor can't block that transition. They can't get in the way and say, whoa, stop, don't transfer the money. It's your money. You're in control of it. So if somebody came to me and said, Mike, I want to transfer my assets from my current advisor over to you, I'd ask them, well, do you want to call the other advisor? They might say yes, they might say no. If they say no, they say, well, is there anything that advisor could do to prohibit me from moving the assets over? And the answer would be no. We would just do paperwork. The assets would move from that firm over to our firm, and then we would be able to manage it. If they actually tried to block that, they could potentially get in a lot of trouble for doing that. So number one, just realize if you want to break up with your financial advisor, you have the option on whether or not you contact them and tell them that that's what you're going to do. But if you don't want to, it's not that important. Now, the other thing that I've run into when it comes to that sort of breakup phase would be the other advisor finds out, because they are going to find out that you're transferring your assets over. So what is that advisor going to do about it? Well, they're likely to pick up the phone. They might call you. They might ask you, hey, gee whiz, why are you transferring your assets to another firm? I think any great advisor, any great financial advisor, investment advisor, fiduciary, if you're moving over to their firm, they should have given you the reasons why you're making that change. Maybe it's more active management. Maybe it's the type of management that they do. Maybe it's based on fees. I mean, it could be based on a lot of different things. But you should be confident in the transition. And then if somebody calls you about it, you should be able to answer those questions. Well, I'm moving because of this reason and this reason and this reason and this reason. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And it makes a lot of sense. And then the other thing and I've done this in the past, sometimes I just meet people that are just really, really uncomfortable. Maybe they're very non-confrontational people and they feel that it's going to be confrontational when they move from one firm to another. So something that we would do is say, all right, listen, if you feel like your financial advisor is going to be sort of more aggressive or more confrontational, or they're going to ask you questions that you're not necessarily comfortable in answering, just have them call me, right? So if you're looking to make a transition and you're breaking up with an advisor and you feel like a current advisor is going to be an uncomfortable situation, feel free to let your previous advisor know, like, listen, I don't want to talk to you about this. I've made the decision. I want to move forward. But if you have any questions, just call my new financial advisor. I can tell you the chances of them calling the new financial advisor is very, very low. But it's also a really good way for you to just deflect that question and say, hey, listen, I don't want to talk about it. I've made my decision. I'm moving forward. If you have any questions, call my new financial advisor. These are just ways to make that process easier for you, because I know it can be uncomfortable, but it doesn't have to be. Thank you for watching. Go to guardingyournestegg.com for your free and objective personal financial plan.